Something is happening to you and you already know it. You wake up and the energy that used to be automatic is not there anymore. You push through the morning on willpower and coffee, and by noon your body is done negotiating. Your grip is weaker than it was 5 years ago. Your drive has flattened. The muscle that used to come back after a few weeks off now disappears and stays gone. You look in the mirror, and the man looking back at you seems like he is running on a diminished fuel supply, and no matter what you do, you cannot seem to top the tank back up. Here is what is actually happening beneath the surface. After 50, testosterone does not just gradually ease off, it accelerates its decline. And low testosterone does not only affect the gym, it affects your mood, your mental sharpness, your sleep quality, your metabolism, your confidence, and the fundamental way you experience being alive. The pharmaceutical industry wants you to believe the only answer comes in a prescription bottle. That is not the whole story. Your body still has the biological machinery to produce testosterone naturally. It has not broken down, it has gone dormant, and the single most powerful signal you can send to wake it back up is mechanical. Heavy, compound, explosive movement of large muscle groups forces your endocrine system to respond. It triggers the release of testosterone and growth hormone directly into the bloodstream, reactivating the hormonal pathways that chronic sitting, chronic stress, and inactivity have put to sleep. 15 minutes a day, 5 specific exercises, the right movements, performed with the right intensity and intention, sending a high-voltage signal to your nervous system that this body still needs to perform at a high level. Your 50s are not the beginning of the end. They are the moment you decide what the next chapter looks like. Meanwhile, like and subscribe if you find this valuable. Let's begin. Exercise 1. Deep squat. Every man over 50 needs to understand one physiological truth. Your legs and glutes contain the largest concentration of muscle fiber in the entire human body. And the size of the muscle group you train is directly proportional to the hormonal response that training produces. When you load the legs and glutes with a compound movement, you do not just build lower body strength. You create a systemic hormonal cascade. Research consistently demonstrates that heavy lower body compound movements trigger the most significant natural release of testosterone and growth hormone of any exercise category. Your legs are not just your foundation. They are your body's primary hormone production engine. Train them like it. Stand slightly wider than shoulder width, toes angled outward. As you descend, think about opening the hips and pulling yourself down into the movement rather than simply dropping. Keep the chest proud and the spine neutral throughout. Go as deep as your mobility safely allows. The greatest muscular stretch, and therefore the greatest hormonal trigger, occurs at the bottom of the movement. Do not cheat yourself out of it. Control the descent for 3 full seconds. Then drive upward explosively in 1 second. That explosive drive is the signal. It tells your endocrine system to wake up. 3 sets of 12 repetitions. If you are beginning, use a chair behind you for box squats to build confidence and mobility simultaneously. This is where your comeback begins. Exercise 2. Horse stance. Ancient martial artists did not hold this position for tradition. They held it because sustained lower body tension under load builds a quality of physical and mental resilience that no repetition-based exercise can replicate. Modern physiology has confirmed exactly why it works. The horse stance is an isometric hold, meaning the muscles are under maximum tension without movement for the entire duration. For men over 50, this creates 2 specific benefits that go beyond muscle. First, the wide, deep position forces increased blood flow into the lower extremities and pelvic region, improving circulation to an area that chronic sitting has been systematically starving. Second, sustained isometric tension under fatigue trains the nervous system to maintain output under pressure, which is a direct precursor to improved hormonal resilience and mental toughness. Stand with feet significantly wider than shoulder width, toes outward. Sink the hips until your thighs approach parallel to the floor. Back straight, chest tall, knees tracking over the toes. Now hold. Your legs will begin to shake. Your heart rate will climb. Do not interpret this as failure. That shaking is your nervous system being pushed past its current threshold. And that is exactly where adaptation happens. Breathe deeply throughout the hold. 30 to 60 seconds. Every second you stay past the moment you want to quit is a second of direct hormonal and neurological training. This is not just an exercise, it is a test of the mindset that drives everything else. Exercise 3. Glute bridge. Chronic sitting is one of the most destructive forces acting on male hormonal health, and most men have no idea. It does not just tighten the hip flexors. It cuts off blood flow to the pelvic region, deactivates the glutes, compresses the lumbar discs, and disrupts the posterior chain that drives hip extension and lower body power. The biological consequences are direct. Reduced circulation to the pelvic region negatively impacts hormonal production in ways no supplement can fully compensate for. The glute bridge is the most targeted antidote available. Lie flat on your back, knees bent, feet planted hip-width apart. Drive through your heels and lift your hips until your body forms a straight line from shoulders to knees. At the top, squeeze your glutes with maximum force and hold that contraction for a full 3 seconds. That deliberate squeeze is not optional. It is the moment where the dormant neural connection between your brain and your glutes is being forcibly reestablished. Lower slowly and repeat. 3 sets of 15 repetitions. Within 2 weeks of consistent practice, expect to notice reduced lower back tightness, improved posture, and a stronger, more powerful stride when you walk. The glutes are the engine of the male body. This exercise starts the engine. Exercise 4. Explosive push-up. Your hormones do not respond to comfortable. They respond to intensity. They respond to effort that demands a genuine physical adaptation. And the difference between a standard push-up and an explosive push-up is the difference between maintenance and transformation. Standard push-ups build baseline endurance in the chest, shoulders, and triceps. Explosive push-ups fire the central nervous system at a significantly higher level. A highly activated nervous system is a direct biological precursor to elevated testosterone output. The signal your body receives from maximum effort explosive movement is fundamentally different from the signal it receives from slow, comfortable repetition. One says maintain, the other says adapt. Lower your body slowly and with full control. Pause for 1 deliberate second at the bottom. Then push the floor away from you with everything you have. Maximum force, maximum speed. If floor-level explosive push-ups stress the joints, perform them against a sturdy bench or countertop. The reduced load preserves the explosive demand without the joint risk. This is not a compromise. It is intelligent progression. 3 sets of 8 repetitions. Quality of force over quantity of repetitions. Each push is a deliberate act of aggression against physical decline, because that is exactly what it is. Exercise 5, kettlebell swing. This is the exercise that ties everything together, and for men over 50, it may be the single most important movement in this entire routine. The kettlebell swing is not a strength exercise. It is not a cardio exercise. It is both simultaneously, which is exactly what makes it uniquely powerful. The explosive hip hinge pattern that drives the swing is the most fundamental movement in human athletic performance. When this pattern is strong and fluid, the entire body performs better. When it deteriorates, everything follows. More critically, the metabolic demand of the swing directly targets visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat that actively produces aromatase, an enzyme that converts your testosterone into estrogen. Every set of swings is a direct biological attack on the compound, suppressing your hormonal health. Hinge at the hips with a slight knee bend. Let the weight swing back between your legs and then snap the hips forward explosively, driving the kettlebell to chest height. Power comes entirely from the glutes and hamstrings. The arms only guide. 3 rounds of 20 swings. The rhythmic, demanding nature of this movement creates a metabolic spike that keeps testosterone elevated for hours after the session ends. This is your daily reminder that you are still an athlete. Train like one. Gentlemen, decline is not a sentence. It is a default setting you have the power to override every single day. These 5 movements, performed with consistency and genuine intensity, will change your hormonal environment, rebuild your physical foundation, and return the edge you thought was permanently gone. 30 days from now, you will not recognize what you were willing to settle for before. Like this video, subscribe, and show up tomorrow. The men who refuse to grow old quietly are the ones who never do.